Once there was a boy named Ethan. He lived in a small, worn-down town where dreams often felt like luxuries nobody could afford. Ethan's family didn't have much. His father worked at a factory. His mother cleaned houses. Money was tight, but Ethan's spirit was full of color. While other kids played with video games or rode shiny new bikes, Ethan spent his afternoons picking wildflowers from the empty fields behind his school. One day, while watching his parents worry over bills, Ethan had an idea. He grabbed a few tin cans, filled them with water, and arranged the flowers he'd picked. The next morning, he set up a tiny stand in front of the local grocery store with a simple hand-painted sign, "Fresh flowers, $1 a bunch." People smiled when they saw him. Some stopped to buy, others chuckled and said, "Kid, nobody's gonna get rich selling daisies." Ethan just smiled. He wasn't thinking about getting rich. He just wanted to help his parents, even if it was just a few dollars at a time. Every day after school, rain or shine, Ethan stood outside, calling out, arranging new flowers, tying them carefully with bits of string he collected from discarded boxes. Some people admired his effort. Some laughed. A few tried to offer him better jobs, like bagging groceries or sweeping floors. But Ethan politely declined. "I'm building something," he would say quietly, even if no one understood yet. As weeks turned into months, something happened. Ethan began to notice patterns. On sunny days, bright sunflowers sold fastest. On cold days, small white blossoms reminded people of home. Around Valentine's Day, even the scraggliest roses disappeared by noon. Without realizing it, Ethan was learning about seasons, colors, emotions, and business. At school, however, things weren't easy. Some classmates mocked him. "Here comes the flower boy. Got any daisies for my dog?" Even some teachers would shake their heads and mutter, "That poor boy, wasting his time." But Ethan didn't waste time worrying about what others thought. He saved every penny he earned in a glass jar on his nightstand. Each time he dropped a coin inside, he whispered, "One step closer." When Ethan turned 18, he took his entire savings, nearly $4,000, and rented a tiny booth at the town's weekend farmers market. He named his stall Bloom and Bright. He designed simple, colorful bouquets. He learned how to wrap them nicely. He even started adding little handwritten notes, like, "You're loved more than you know." A little color for a gray day. One afternoon, a woman named Mrs. Parker visited the market. She was planning a large charity gala and needed hundreds of flower arrangements. She noticed Ethan's work, how fresh, lively and full of heart his flowers looked. Not polished, not factory-made, real. Mrs. Parker asked Ethan, "Can you handle a big order?" Ethan swallowed hard. He had never done anything that large, but he smiled and said, "Yes, ma'am. I'll find a way." For days, Ethan worked from dawn until midnight. He picked, wrapped, tied, and arranged flowers until his hands were raw. He barely slept. But on the night of the gala, when guests walked into the ballroom filled with Ethan's bright, humble bouquets, they gasped. They smiled. They whispered, "Who did these?" That one event changed everything. Brides called him for weddings. Businesses called him for openings. Hotels called him for lobbies. Ethan didn't just sell flowers anymore. He sold feelings, memories, moments, and people loved it. 5 years later, Ethan opened his own full-scale flower shop, Bloom and Bright Flowers, a real store, glass doors, pretty displays, his own team of employees. Mr. Grant, one of the men who used to laugh at him, walked past Ethan's store one evening and shook his head in disbelief. Imagine that. The kid who sold $1 flowers now owns the busiest shop in town. Today, Ethan isn't just the owner of one shop. He owns 7 stores across 3 towns. He supplies flowers for weddings, events, hospitals, and hotels. He teaches young kids how to start small businesses, and every Valentine's Day, he gives away free bouquets to single mothers, remembering how hard his own mother once worked. When a reporter once asked him, "What's the secret to your success?" Ethan smiled and said, "It's simple. You don't wait for the world to notice you. You bloom anyway. You show up every day, even when no one is clapping. And you keep believing that someday, your time will come. Big dreams often start in small places. Success doesn't always come with applause. It comes quietly, in the moments when no one is watching. The world may laugh at your small stand today. They may not understand your passion or your dreams, but if you stay patient, stay kind, and keep growing, one day, they'll walk into a world you built with your own hands. Just like Ethan, you don't need millions to start. You just need a heart full of hope and the courage to bloom where you're planted. If this story inspired you, give it a like and share your thoughts in the comments. And always remember, your small beginnings can grow into something beautiful.